Hello and welcome, and in today's video we're going to be looking at the BH4 from Bogren. This plugin is directly inspired by the Diezel VH4, specifically channels 3 and 4 from that amp. Those two channels are great for super high gain, chunky, heavy riffs. And so what we're going to do is check out this plugin and see if it can keep up. We're going to look at this plugin from top to bottom, the features, how to interact with it and how to get the most out of it, and to find out just how versatile it is. To demonstrate this plugin, I'm going to be using my Manson New Era signature. Before we go any further, I should say that this is a sponsored video. Bogren reached out to me to make a video on this. I am interested in this amp. I love amp plugins. I think they're really versatile, and the fact that you can fit an amp in a laptop, save your presets, dial in that same sound every time. It's really interesting to me, and this plugin is really interesting to me, especially with what amp it's trying to evoke. And of course, as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss out. And now let's have a look at what this thing can do. Bogren are known for making various plugins for both guitar and drums. They've lent much more towards the heavier side of things, emulating amps such as the legendary PV5150 and various other Marshalls and loads of other heavier gain stuff before. Don't really expect to see kind of twin or your jazz chorus types in their repertoire. And what we're looking at here with the BH4, it fits in perfectly. Super high gain, really chuggy, it should work perfectly. Previously, Bogren have sold their plugins in predetermined bundles, and what they're doing now is giving you the ability to choose any 3 of their plugins to create your own custom bundle. So if you like this, you can choose 2 others to get yourself a pretty good deal. You can actually use the BH4 in 2 ways. How I'm using it at the moment for the purpose of this demonstration is in Logic as a normal plugin, but it also comes as a kind of standalone application for your computer, in my case my laptop. You don't need a DAW to use it, you can actually just open it up as its own plugin. With that, it gives you the extra feature of recording in music or riffs that you might write whilst playing it and then listen to them back. It's a nice little feature. I don't think I've come across a plugin that does anything the same sort of that, so it's a nice little feature. So let's start with the UI. How does this plugin work? What can you control? And how easy is it to use? And so what we can see here is the plugin in full. Famously, Bogren have made all of their amp plugins very much like this. One control, which is usually gain, and your channel selection, maybe if the amp they're emulating has channel selection. Really low profile, not a lot to play around with. As I said at the top of the video, this plugin is emulating channels 3 and 4 from the original amp, and we can see that here with channels 3 and channel 4. As well as the 2 channels, we also have a pedal button, which is a built-in tight boost pedal. So if you want a little extra kick, if this isn't giving you enough, you can click that and you'll get even more gain out of it. Speaking of gain, we have the gain control at the bottom here, going from 0 to 10, as any normal pot does.
These go to 11.
And we have a power button, which essentially bypasses the entire plugin. At the bottom left, we have our level in and out, so you get more fine tuning and control over your levels coming in and out. At the right, we have a tuner with a possible mute option, and you also have the ability to choose which kind of pitch or frequency that you're tuning to, whether it's going to be 440 or whether you want to go old school to 335. It's totally up to you. Moving over from that, we have the cab control, which is where you can choose from the 2 built-in cabs, which is either a modern cab, as they're calling it, or a vintage cab. We will look at what they sound like when we get to the demos. We also can load in our own IRs. For the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to stick with the modern cab and not use the vintage one, just because I want to retain more of that kind of brighter, tighter sound. The vintage one gives you more of that kind of muddier tone. It sounds great, but for simplicity, we're just going to stick with the modern one. And finally from that is settings, where you can see the user manual and the gate control, which is probably the most important part for you in terms of using it. This is where you can see where the kind of threshold for your noise gate is. You can completely remove it, so you'd have some hum and buzz, or you can just keep it at its normal position, turn it on and off, and also then select if you're going to have a soft introduction of that gate or a hard one. I always prefer more of a soft, a bit more rounded off. But that is the overview of the plugin. At the moment, I'm not passing judgment, we're just looking at that is what it offers. Now we're gonna have a look at what it sounds like. So what we're gonna do now is just quickly blast through extremes of what this plugin can do. We're gonna start on channel 3, we're gonna bring the gain all the way down, guitar, turn everything all the way up, and just see what it does. I might be out of tune. A good opportunity to show off the tuner. So nice kind of a Robocop style readout there, similar to what you see on kind of Korg rack mount tuners. I like it. So this has, we're on channel 3, the weaker of the channels, and we've got the gain all the way down. So you'd really kind of expect this to be not chugging along quite a lot, but it's got a lot of give already. If we turn down the guitar, we obviously strip out a lot of that input gain, and we get something that is maybe clean. You can hear it just kind of breaking, just starting to break a little bit. So it really doesn't clean up very much. But if you're using this type of plugin, you don't really want to go clean anyway. So maybe you could forgive it for that. Let's just go at 5 in terms of gain, because that's halfway between nothing and 10. A significant boost in the gain, and now let's just go crazy and turn it all the way up to 10. Again, we're still on channel 3 and we've not got that boost pedal engaged. Let's go to 6. And bring it all the way down to 0 again. Very versatile. That gain control is doing a lot, and it's not, as you see with a lot of gain controls, just stripping out all the level, like nothing comes through at 0. What it's doing with not having any EQ and other controls, it's kind of determining what a majority of your sound is going to be in terms of your bass, middle and treble, and you're left with just the gain control for the bulk of your sound. But I think the gain control for this is quite clever with how it's doing it. It's not stripping it all the way down, retaining some grit even all the way down. You know, it's a good solid rhythm channel, I would say. Maybe a bit more level out of it, maybe some compression to punch that out. You might want to just compensate that by bringing it up to, say, 2.6. Pretty brutal. I mean, let's bring it all the way down and bring in that pedal, see if it does anything. You can hear when it comes on, it's flicking something. Does make it a bit brighter, maybe a bit more punchy. Let's bring it up to 6, just if we double click. It's subtle, that pedal boost, but it does add something. Enough of that, let's go to channel 4, bring that pedal off and gain all the way down. Being very scientific. Channel 3 again, just to flip between. Channel 3 is darker, 4 has got a bit more brightness to it. Again, with the gain all the way down. Maybe a bit tighter in the mids. Bring it up to 5. Something I like to do is to run all the tone off, so if your single string riffs want to pop out a little bit more, you can do that. It's a little bit of a cheat. It makes it more of a kind of a doomier tone, I think, maybe. And let's, for the sake of it, let's just put the pedal on. So this is everything turned up, effectively. You can really hear what that pedal's doing. Again, it's subtle, but it makes everything a bit tighter. It's a bit more kind of sharper in the mids. Upper mids, I think. Let's just flip between this with the pedal on, gain all the way up to channel 3. You can hear what it's doing, I can hear what it's doing, it's kind of hard to articulate, but it does give you some nice subtlety to play around with. As I said, all we've got to really play around with is the gain control in terms of dialing in a sound. That pedal just adds a little bit more tightness to it. It's nice and subtle. Sometimes subtle things are really what you want. Maybe something that's doing a lot is too much of a broader stroke. So the gain control and that pedal option do work quite nicely. You've got your big broad stroke from the gain control, and then that pedal to just decide if you want to go tight or loose with what it's doing, kind of like the upper mids. I think it's doing something with the mids, but it's up to you if you think I'm wrong. I don't do intricate solos, I just like big riffs, and I'm a really sloppy player, hence why I like drop D. That's nice and all, but let's see what this sounds like in a context of a band. So there we go, that was a quick overview demonstration and another demonstration of the BH4 from Bogren. I think it's a great plugin. I'm not directly comparing it to the VH4 because I really want to see just what this can do on its own. Yes, it's trying to evoke the VH4, and really what you can do with that is that it's just going for big gain lead sound, nothing complicated. With the fact that we don't have an E3 band EQ to play around with, a presence and the deep control, I think you don't want to get stuck with a direct comparison. Does it evoke that sort of sound, that a versatile, good, strong, lots of gain to play around with? Yes, the UI is very much clearly trying to bring in the look of the amp, and maybe that helps with the psychological aspect of it. I just want to see what merits it as an amp in terms of, does it sound good, and what is it good for what it's pitching itself as a lot of gain. It does a lot of gain. You don't have that 3-band EQ to play around with, so you are locked in to what you want to play around with. If you want to be able to tweak some stuff, there are 2 options you have. The first is your cab emulation. Now you get the 2 ones that this thing comes with, or you can load your own IRs. And that does have an effect of changing the EQ, as well as the kind of profile of that sound. It's a big, broad stroke with what you're doing in terms of playing around with cab emulation. And there are other things that are out there that gives you control over what microphone you're playing around with and so on. But maybe what that is too much choice, and what this plugin and the range from Bogren give you is a relief from the kind of the paralysis of choice. It says you've got a gain control, everything else is taken care of, just focus on your playing. In a live situation, it's kind of difficult to pick out what specific tones you're going for. Maybe that broad brushstroke of a buttload of gain is enough. And I think it's got some versatility with it. That gain control is doing so much, so there is still a great amount of dialing in that you can get in there. Yes, it's all about the gain and so on, but I have to believe that this has been made with a good broad EQ. The other option is that you just use an EQ plugin. Bring down those muddier lower mids and lower ends so that you're kind of retaining some good transparency in that low end, and you could boost the highs if you want, or the opposite. There is those sorts of options there. If you know what you're doing with an EQ pedal, that is a very easy and quick approach that you've got with it, and the plugin gives you that building block from the beginning. No, it's not massively versatile, but it's just a kind of a plug in and go. And with a lot of things that people do these days, I think that works to get something that you want like that and just go. And the more time you spend with it, the more time you get to understand where its strengths and its weaknesses are. But I think it's got a lot of strengths. There's a lot of versatility with this. The link to their website is down in the description along with all my other links, so be sure to click that to find out more. So there we go, that's the video done. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I've been Harry, and thanks for watching.